Get ready. Phantasialand is a true hidden gem in the European theme park roster. Germany is home to some great theme parks, but they're often overshadowed by the titan that is Europa Park. Based on this, Phantasialand is often overlooked by non-native visitors. However, you might be surprised to hear that the park has been entertaining guests since all the way back to 1967. This notoriously small park has seen quite a few changes in the last 50 plus years though. With limited real estate, it makes sense that some of the older rides will become defunct Phantasialand attractions as we move through time. This means that many classic rides and attractions have been sent to the attraction graveyard. But before you join us on this trip, please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy this video and press the subscribe button to keep up with our channel, because we put out videos every week. With that out of the way, let's take a trip through the history of Phantasialand and detail some of the park's defunct attractions. Get ready. Number 1. Phantasialand Jet, 1974 to 2008. Kicking things off, the first grave we visit is the classic Phantasialand Jet. This was the park's monorail that opened in the park all the way back in 1974. The monorail took guests on a loop around the park in a figure-8 layout around many of the park's buildings. The track length was only around 1 kilometre, which took around 10 minutes to complete the course. In 1983, Phantasialand Jet was upgraded to add a more specific attraction style as opposed to the standard mode of transport. They constructed an artificial rock tunnel and added some dark ride scenes. This took guests through the age of dinosaurs and into the caveman era as part of the trip. The monorail was known to not be quite smooth, however, and with its aging state, the park retired the Jet in 2008. Number 2. Schloss Schreckenstein, 1972 to 2008. Schloss Schreckenstein was a unique entry in the defunct Phantasialand attraction's history. This was Phantasialand's horror-themed walkthrough that opened in 1972. It took guests through 5 different scenes, each with their own unique horror story. This included a scene with a mad scientist, a werewolf, a trip through a haunted cemetery, a ghostly funeral, and even a vampire scene. This attraction provided something very different that we don't have in the park today. The closest spooky walkthrough experience you can find is in the queue line for Mystery Castle. A decision was made to demolish the walkthrough in 2008. It was later replaced by a more adventurous and family-friendly Baumberger Irrgarten maze in 2010. Number 3. Gebirgsbahn, 1975 to 2001. Our third entry in the Phantasialand attraction graveyard is the one and only roller coaster of our list. The title translates to Mountain Railway in English. This acted as the park's family coaster that opened way back in 1975. An artificial mountain range was added in 1976 on account of noise complaints from residents of the nearby town of Brühl. This added a nice touch of theming to the Western themed attraction. The ride closed in 2001 following a devastating fire at the park, which ravaged the man-made mountain range. It is believed that over 60 people were slightly injured in the fire, including 10 park staff and at least 50 guests. The fire caused €38 million worth of damage to various attractions and buildings. The park would remain closed for 15 days following the incident in order to demolish and clean up the affected areas. Number 4. Silbermine, 1984 to 2014. Silbermine is a ride type in the attraction graveyard which is sorely missed at present-day Phantasialand. Silbermine was a very traditional dark ride attraction that opened in 1984 and was filled with 130 different animatronics. The ride actually took place inside the mountain range that Phantasialand Jet passed through. It featured another Western theme, with the ride taking guests through the fictitious Silver City. The ride would have been located where the current-day Mexico land is situated now. The train would take guests through scenes featuring a mine, a Mexican bar, and bull riding tournament, as well as a village that had been set ablaze by bandits. The latter took a lot of inspiration from the classic Pirates of the Caribbean attractions at various Disney parks. In the later years of its life, Silbermine drew less and less of a crowd, and it was later closed in 2014 and never reopened. Number 5. Stonewash Creek and Wildwash Creek, 1974 to 2011. This next attraction opened under the name Wildwasserbahn in 1974. It was a lengthy log flume attraction and the first of its kind in Germany upon opening. The original attraction proved so popular that a decision was made to actually split it into two. This meant that the one long course became two smaller ones, easing some of the lengthy queues it was experiencing. In 1992, Wildwasserbahn was renamed to Stonewash Creek and Wildwash Creek, considering it now had two tracks. The two rides would operate under these names until their closure in 2011. Removing the park's only log flume attractions proved somewhat controversial. However, Phantasialand more than made up for it with its replacement. Chapas would go on to open in its place in 2013 and is arguably one of the best log flume attractions in the world. A worthy replacement in our humble opinion. Number 6. Galaxy and Race for Atlantis, 1994 to 2005 and 2005 to 2016. And last but not least, out of all of the Phantasialand defunct attractions is Galaxy and Race for Atlantis. These were the park's IMAX flight simulator attractions, akin to that of the Simpsons ride at the Universal parks. Galaxy took guests on an intergalactic adventure featuring a film titled Asteroid Adventure, a 3.5-minute presentation. This brought guests on board the Galaxy 1 space shuttle, where they went on an adventure and encountered many spacey problems. This version ran until 2005, before it made a quick transition over to Race for Atlantis in the same year. Race for Atlantis was originally created for Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas in 1998, before being debuted in Phantasialand in 2005. The story for this brought guests through the sunken city where they faced off against sea monsters. The attraction would close in 2016, making way for the amazing Rookberg, a much welcomed replacement. While you're here, you should definitely check out our Phantasialand Hidden Gems video, where we look at some of the amazing details in Phantasialand. A link to this video will be on screen now. What classic Phantasialand attraction do you still miss to this day? Let us know in the comments below. And now you're ready.